Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Buckeye Bro Show. This is a show where we talk to you about Buckeye football, Buckeye basketball, and Buckeye things, and other sports and teams as we see fit. I am your royal host, Alex Bryan, a.k.a. Key Buckeye, and I am here, as always, with my co-host with the most, my Buckeye Bro, Hot Wheels, Travis Napper. What's up, Travis?
I feel like we need to add a little bit to the end of that and put, and all of the other things that bring us doom and despair.
Oh, for you?
No, well, in general, I mean, it seems like that's going around lately. It's all just death, doom, and despair.
Is that why I got strep last week, because of your doom and despair?
Apparently.
Oof.
Apparently. I don't know. I
knew
really don't know.
I knew it came from somewhere.
All times.
I knew it came from somewhere.
Really, it's probably Ryan's fault. He's the doom and despair for the most part all year round.
It probably is Ryan's fault, honestly.
But he should be happy because there's certain things that I know that are on that Ryan Rundown that are going to make him happy. So I really don't want to get to the Ryan Rundown today because, damn it, there's something that happened that I really don't want to talk about besides
we're skipping
what I already don't want to talk about.
Good news, we're skipping.
That's all I want to talk about. I wouldn't have showed up for the show tonight.
We're skipping it. Ryan Rundown's canceled.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But we are here with our other Buckeye
Double
Bro.
down on the Hot Wheels hot take.
Say what?
We're gonna double down on the Hot Wheels hot take
There you
tonight.
go.
There you go.
Just give me a Joey Logano hot take. That's all I ask
Just
for.
King's Wrath, the entire.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's too much. But we are here with our other Buckeye Bro. He is the guy with the sports supply, right? The sports guy, Ryan Hill. What's up, Ryan?
Ready to get to the Ryan Rundown and deliver the sports supply to
go.
everybody, especially one Hot Wheels, Travis Napper. But we're here.
You know, I'm not really that mad about it, but at the same time, I love giving him shit for it too. So, yeah.
I love it. I love that both of you don't like it, and Alex doesn't really even care. But he just doesn't like it.
He shouldn't have been in that spot.
I
I like to
it
say
because he's
the hammer was finally dropped, just on something else.
Jeez.
unbelievable.
Cheaters never
All right.
prosper, right, Alex?
Hey, listen, correct. So, all right. We're unfortunately gonna talk about that Oregon game that happened a couple Saturdays ago. Instead of the good, bad, and ugly, we're just gonna have an open forum about it. We're just gonna talk about some stuff. We all know what's good, bad, and ugly about that game, so we don't even have to worry about it. We're just gonna have an open forum and talk amongst men about the Oregon game. Then we're gonna preview the Nebraska game. Give your thoughts and feelings on that. Have the Ryan Rundown per usual, and Ryan's just gonna ride that wave. Then we will talk about what did we learn in college football the last 2 weeks. I don't worry, boys. I made the list.
It's like, what's in the list? I don't know.
I literally just thought, I was like, we didn't discuss this.
I know. That's on me.
I am not prepared.
But I made the list, and it's a pretty good one. So we'll talk about that. We'll show you the college football playoff dead or alive list for the last 2 weeks. There's a lot of dead teams.
I was going to say a lot of dead.
I think we, outside of a group of 5 teams who I have not added yet and will not until the college football playoff rankings come out, we are down to like 30-some teams that are alive.
I was going to say, you probably could add them right now because, quite honestly, there's some power.
Listen.
Yeah, right.
Listen, I am rooting for Army and Navy to go undefeated.
Dude, same.
Because it's so funny because they have to play each other for the conference title before they play their game.
Yeah. Right.
That's nuts.
I saw a video on TikTok that actually made me laugh about them being good. It was kind of in regards to the communication in the helmets now.
Right.
And it was talking about how, you mean to tell me that we've had all this scandal about cheating and sign stealing, and now the two military
I saw that too. It's
military teams are
facts
undefeated.
Very interesting.
I smell something fishy.
And Connor Salians used to be on Navy's coaching staff. Little sus. Now
breadcrumbs.
Right. Just we know where it started. But yeah, I'm rooting for them to go undefeated. That'd be great. Then we'll have Hot Wheels hot takes per usual. Saban calling Ohio State's defense antiquated.
Ugh.
We'll give you our thoughts and feelings on that. And Kirby Smart, once again, after a win, is telling everybody nobody believed in us. We got to talk about it because it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Then we'll have rapid fire picks as always and send you on your way with a Wolverine whiff. Sound good, fellas?
Why is Nick Saban got to use big words, man? Why does he got to use big words?
I don't know, but he ain't wrong.
I was going to ask Alex to define that word and then use it in a sentence.
I'm 2 steps ahead of you, sir. I'm 2 steps ahead of you.
I figured you would be.
All right, here we go. All right, so as we all know, the biggest game of the year for Ohio State came up a couple weekends ago. By the way, we didn't have a show last week because I was on vacation. I was supposed to be in Disney, but then a hurricane stopped me from going to Disney, so I was home all last week. But we still kept the.
I was home last week.
Yeah,
my trip happened either.
We still kept the show off. Just we were on a bye week anyway. I hate doing shows on a bye week. It sucks. So we decided not to do it, but still got to talk about this game anyway. So Ohio State started out pretty strong in this one. Thanks to a interception, not interception, question mark. Listen, the thing of this game is there were a few things that I could see both sides of that happened in this game.
Yep.
And the interception was one of them that ended up not being called an interception that led to Ohio State's first score. They start out 7-0, then Oregon a couple drives later, because Ohio State on their very next offensive drive, just Quinshon Judkins got the ball stripped from him. And apparently he was playing with an injured hand, and he just had a procedure on it, so that's probably why that happened, which was unfortunate. But that led to Oregon's first touchdown, which they would miss the PAT on. And usually those types of things should cost a team a win in the end, right? So it would be 7-6. Then in the second quarter, this was still in the first quarter where Oregon missed a field goal, but then Ohio State would go up 14-6 at the start of the second quarter there. Oregon would respond with a touchdown, and then they would pull the onside kicks of onside kicks. Good Lord. It makes me wonder if our coaching staff ever has seen Dan Lanning coach a game, because he's a guy who always likes to have a trick up his sleeve, and nobody was ready for that.
I think it's just time that the college football world takes a rule from the NFL, and you're not allowed to do onside kicks till the fourth quarter as long as you're losing.
Maybe.
And you have to notify the other team.
Maybe. Or like I've said, they should just adopt the UFL rule where you can have a 4th and 15 and get the ball back if you want.
Yeah.
Because and honestly, the way our defense played that night, they probably could have picked up a 4th and 15.
The funny part is, I think that was Denzel Burke who the ball hit off of.
No, it wasn't. It was it was some like second, third string guy that just.
Nice try though. Nice try.
He tried to get out.
I thought they said it was Denzel Burke wearing a different jersey number for that play.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either.
But boy, would that be something if it was, right?
Oh,
but it would work out for Oregon. They would get the ball back, and they would kick a field goal to go up 15-14. Ohio State would score a touchdown on the ensuing drive, and then Oregon would respond back with a touchdown of their own. So this was going score for score. Oregon was up 1 at the half. And then both teams only scored 10 points each in the second half. Ohio State, though, would have the ball last. And as we all know what happened, Ohio State just ran out of time. Will Howard runs it on a 3rd and something? 3rd and long?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3rd and 20. He would run it for like 12 yards. Run out of time. That's one of those that I could see going both ways, too, because of certain things, but we'll get into that. And Ohio State would lose 32-31 in Autzen Stadium. Every opportunity to win this game, every opportunity to build on a lead when we had it at 28-22 especially, to where we could have gotten enough ahead to be somewhat comfortable late. Obviously, defense in a big game once again completely just got destroyed. We'll bring up some of Jim Knowles' stats in those big games in a little bit here. But as far as stats go, Will Howard, 28 of 35, 326. Finally a 300-yard passing game for one Will Howard. And it comes to the biggest game of the year. And 2 touchdowns, no picks for him. Travion Henderson, the leading rusher, 10 carries, 87 yards. Quinshon Judkins had a touchdown of his own, but he only had 23 yards rushing on the day. It was clear kind of they weren't using Quinshon that much. I mean, they kind of split carries, but they weren't really using him in a lot of ways that we had seen them use him before. Jeremiah Smith, obviously, the leading receiver, 100 yards on 9 catches, 1 tutty. And Emeka has another great game, 10 catches, 93 yards, 1 tutty for him as well. Your leading tackler, Cody Simon, with 10, so that's pretty good. Dylan Gabriel, though, 23 of 34, 341, and 2 touchdowns for him. No picks. Their leading rusher, Jordan James, 23 carries, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. And the leading receiver, because he basically cooked Denzel Burke all by himself, Evan Stewart, 7 catches, 149 yards, 1 tutty. And 1 DB of Ohio State spit in the face. So that's pretty decent. So like I said, we're not going to do good, bad, and ugly. We're just going to have an open forum here. But the first thing I want to talk about, boys, is one Will Howard. We went into this game saying, please, God, just let Will Howard play good enough, facilitate the ball, and we can win this game. Outside of 2 mistakes late, where obviously he fumbled a snap basically, and went for like negative 10 yards, and then we ended up having to punt, and that led to Oregon taking the lead for good, essentially. And of course, the last play where we ran out of time when he ran the ball. He played a really great game, boys. And honestly, that was pretty reassuring to me. I don't know about you guys, but what are your thoughts on Will Howard's performance?
I'll start. I thought he played really good. I have no bad things to really say about him. I know everybody wanted to kill him after that last play of the game. I'm not going to put that on him. Like, everyone, I was laughing a little bit at it, that everyone is acting like it's the dumbest thing that has ever happened in football history. He ran a yard short out of time, and he tried to do the impossible, and it didn't work. Like, he had the right idea. He made the right play. The play calling, to be honest, at that point was probably the real question. But as far as what Will Howard did, played every bit the position that we needed him to play, threw for 300 yards. I'm sure there were a couple passes that he probably could have gotten back, but I mean, I don't really see anything, or I didn't see anything that I think I could ask more of him. Throw one more touchdown. But, I mean, besides that,
he was pretty good.
He was good.
I mean, I would it have been nice to have, like, maybe, I don't know, Cam Ward for this game? Maybe it would have got us another score. I don't know. I mean, Cam Ward's playing great. He makes his own mistakes, though. Cam Ward does.
He does.
Will Howard took until the 4th quarter to make really one mistake. Can't be too mad about it. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I've defended Will Howard a lot outside of like this here,
Right.
with people, because I don't think Will Howard really is the reason for the loss in this game. I think, like we said, like Travis said there, Will Howard played a really great game overall. I mean, 28 of 35, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then throwing a rushing touchdown as well. The man did everything he should have done to win the football game. You do that, you take care of the ball, you don't turn it over. Even when the mistake with the ball on the snap, I mean, he still covered it up. Sure, it ended the drive there, and that sucked. But I'd rather fall on the mess up right there and then punt the ball away as opposed to not get on the ball and lose it through a fumble or try to do too much and throw it away and maybe an interception happens. So,
and really on that one,
I mean,
wasn't it the center that snapped the ball when he wasn't even looking?
I think,
So
I think that's exactly what happened. But I mean, people are going to put the blame on Will Howard here because some people weren't happy with getting Will Howard. They're like, we got a Kansas State quarterback, and this he's just average. Like, he got benched at Kansas State. But I think Will Howard's played really good this year. Yeah. Overall, I mean,
he's been like Craig Krenzel.
Right. I mean,
that's always he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't turn it over. Well, we need the defense that Craig Krenzel had too. But that's we'll get there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't blame this on Will Howard. I think he made the right plays. Sure, there's probably a couple throws that he probably wants back, but I mean, no quarterback's going to really throw a perfect game. I know someone did literally just throw like 18 of 18, Jared Goff, I think.
Yeah, it was Goff.
And he caught a touchdown pass.
Right, and he caught a touchdown pass. But it's very rare that a quarterback ever goes perfect in a game. As long as you just manage the game and you don't turn it over. I think most of the time when he left the field, Ohio State had the lead for the most part.
That was a better start than I could have envisioned for him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Honestly. It really was.
So, I think he did well.
I think he did well, too. Obviously you could pinpoint that last play. And,
I don't even care about the last play. I think that
I don't either.
The Big Ten told Ryan Day that the clock was out. But
it wasn't.
But technically, when you initiate a slide, the play is dead as soon as you initiate the slide. And they just implemented that rule a couple years ago because Kenny Pickett did that whole little fake slide thing in the ACC title game. So it's literally the Kenny Pickett rule. And
right.
I saw another thing where Ryan Day was literally running at the ref shouting timeout as he started the slide. So technically it could have been awarded, but to be honest with you, did we really deserve it?
Yes.
I would like to think so, but boy, the OPI makes me mad more than anything because and that's another one of the things I can see both ways, right?
And this might seem like a crybaby call here from an Ohio State fan, but if that game was here in Columbus, I think we get that timeout.
Probably.
You be throwing water bottles like Texas does?
I could see right. I could see why it was called OPI, but I can also see that the DB engaged with him first, and he has a right to break free. And a lot of people have said that same thing. It shouldn't have been called, especially in that moment. But maybe that's God's way of saying, hey, that gets you back for the 2002 title game.
Maybe.
But the fact that a similar thing happened in the Texas-Georgia game, and all it took was, like you guys said, throwing some stuff on the field to get the call reversed. It's like, very interesting. So, it is we shouldn't have been in that position anyway.
No.
Because if we had just played even average defense, that game is a 10-plus Buckeye win.
Well, and like I think I forget who pointed it out in chat when we were talking about the game ahead or afterwards. But it probably was Alex. But you're 2nd and 1 on 46. You throw to Egbuka for 26 yards. You're on the 28. You're on the fucking 28.
This was me.
Why are you throwing the ball? And I get it. Maybe you're going for the touchdown to try to ice the game. Run the ball at least once, for God's sakes. Like, that first play after that throw should have been a run. And it should have been just straight up the gut. If you make it, you're cool. If you don't, you lose maybe 2 yards and you're at the 30.
We did seem very pass happy in this game.
Probably because of Judkins.
Probably, but like
that's not an excuse.
We got Trey in space and he broke free. I'm actually shocked we didn't try that more.
I was about to say, yeah, right when we started feeding Trey the ball, I mean, he had that big one.
And here's
60,
the thing.
70 yard run.
This game was like
53.
the Georgia. This game was like the Georgia game in every way, shape, or form, except it just had a different ending. That's all. Well, it had the same result, but a different ending to get to the same result.
Just a different way for Ohio State fans to hang their heads.
But here's the thing. All of that gets solved, the Georgia game and this game, if we just have a kicker we could trust. Because I think that's what the biggest problem here is. Day's like, oh, crap. I don't know if I have a kicker that can make like a 45-yarder. Oh, God. You know, maybe if we just had some special teams that didn't suck. Like, this punter, I saw videos and heard all offseason that we got this Australian punter that can boot 80 yards. Is that the same guy? I don't know. I don't know if that's the same punter. I don't know if it is, and maybe he just can't boot 80-some yards. I don't know. But we couldn't flip the field well to save our lives the entire game, so that didn't help us either. We made it real easy on Oregon a lot of times to drive down the field on us. But the problem is we don't have a kicker anybody can trust. So it's like, oh, how close do we really have to get? Oh, well, we're throwing on them well, so let's keep throwing on them, you know? Just like against Georgia. It's like we were running well, let's keep running. It's like, if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I didn't have a problem with the passing. Like, obviously it worked when we got it to Jeremiah Smith, and then, of course, they called OPI, and then it backed us up a lot. But, you know, there should have came a point, probably on that third and 20, just run the ball, call the timeout, and kick. If you miss the kick, okay, then we get a montage of Ohio State missing 2 kicks in big games. Then we just narrow it down to a kicker problem instead of, oh, we just ran the ball on a play that we really needed to pass the ball and we ran out of time, and now we don't even.
Oh, there's more than just a kicker problem.
Yeah, there is. But so let's talk about this defense. Jim Knowles in top 5 games at Ohio State, boys. Now, granted, one of these at least involved cheating. The other one, you could say it involved cheating just to be a dick. So 2020 Team Up North, 530 total yards given up. And a good chunk of that, like probably a quarter of that, was given up in the last 7 minutes of that game on 2 runs.
Yep.
2022 Georgia, 533 yards given up total. 2023 Team Up North, 338 total yards. And 2024 Oregon, 496 total yards. That is a whopping 1,897 yards given up and 149 points in those games given up as well. Jim Knowles, man. Obviously, last year we finished with the top 5 defense, right? But what does it matter if in the games that matter the most, the defense just is non-existent? Ryan.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't like Jim Knowles really being our DC anymore. The scheme's just not working. You're not getting pressure to the quarterback. Even, I mean, you're only rushing 2 at some point, and you still can't cover down the field.
Oh,
like, what are we doing?
I'm glad you mentioned that. That one play where we dropped all 4 linemen into coverage and blitzed 2 linebackers. What is that?
Right.
What's the point?
Like, what are we doing?
What's the point?
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, but obviously, like, sure, it looks. It does. Honestly, I'm just. We got a shutout this year against Western Michigan. Whatever. That's great. We got that finally. But if you look back at the games, Akron moved the ball solidly
for half
through the air. Marshall moved the ball solidly. I mean, Iowa kind of moved the ball a little bit through the air, but Ohio State's defense has been bend, don't break, and usually when they get down there, they don't break, but, like, they're bending the whole way down, and when you finally play a team that has an offense that can capitalize on you bending so much, you break. And we are breaking. more times than not now. We're playing these big teams, Oregon, Georgia. I mean, it sucks. Team up north, you throw the cheating thing out there or whatnot, but I mean, you still think at
Boy.
some point.
If we get to 10-1 and play team up north, and they get even like over 150 total yards on us, I might be pissed.
Oh, I bet.
That offense is awful.
But our defense really isn't that good. They're not getting takeaways like we like. They're not getting pressure and sacks like we. I mean, sure, we padded our stats the one year with sacks when we got 10 against Akron in one game, and it made it look like we did a hell of a job on sacks that year. But really, when you look at it, you beat a MAC school and got 10 sacks out of that one game. So it's like,
you know
we haven't really.
You know who's leading the Big Ten in sacks and tackles for loss? Guess.
Washington.
What's your guess, Travis?
Indiana.
It's Indiana.
That's true. I didn't know that.
They are so good. It's actually, they are a well-oiled machine right now, and I'm just like, oh, fuck.
But, I mean, we just haven't seen a good defense in quite some time. 2019 was solid under Jeff Hafley, and congratulations to you, Alex, getting Jeff Hafley there.
I told Packers Nation, I said, we got a real one. Let him cook. After a couple games, they were like, oh, he sucks. It's just another. I'm like, guys, relax. Like, remember when Aaron Rodgers was like, RELAX? Relax. Let Jeff Hafley cook. I believe in Jeff Hafley. Okay? So, and now we hold our opponents to under 10 points per game in the second half, and we, like, have a ton of takeaways. I'm like, Jeff Hafley's a defensive god.
But
I would do anything to get him back in Columbus, and that's saying something because I've waited so long for a defensive coordinator in Green Bay.
I just think it's time Ryan Day has a big sit-down conversation with Larry Johnson and Jim Knowles and says, what the heck is the problem here?
One of you has to go.
Apparently already
both at this point.
I will say that somebody said the way he spoke about the defense in his presser this week or so sounded a lot like how he was talking about Kerry Coombs in a presser
I saw that
the season before he got fired. So Jim Knowles might be counting his days.
Ryan Day also here every week after every game he says, yeah, I see we got these things that we need to fix and we're gonna like get it going, like we got some things to handle. You don't fix them. What are we doing?
Yeah.
They're not getting fixed. I can stand here and at a podium and tell you everything that's wrong and that we're going to do something to fix it, and then we just never do. But I'm going to come back and tell you again that, hey, we're going to fix it, and we don't.
Yeah.
This is still dog shit.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And, you know, I put a lot of blame on Denzel Burke, but I also don't because of Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles gave him no help all game.
None.
Put him on an island.
Well, if you're supposed to be a first-round corner.
And that's why, like, I can't completely blame Jim Knowles because Denzel Burke's supposed to be shut down, and he picked a bad day to have the worst day of his career.
Well, I mean, you played a team with the pulse.
He picked a bad day, and against a wide receiver that everybody knew was good. I mean, everybody knew he was he was like the top receiver in the transfer portal from Texas A&M. Everybody knew that guy was good. And Denzel Burke had it, and you know, here's where I really blame Denzel Burke. This guy needs to stop saying shit before a big game.
Yep.
I love him to death. He's in my profile picture on a lot of my stuff. You know, I've been to his stream. I've been to his stream. He's a good guy, but boy, he needs to stop. He just needs to keep his mouth shut before big games. He just needs to go out there and play. Because anytime he says something before big, like for this one, he was like, "I'm built for games like these." Boy, it didn't look like it. Didn't look like it. Though.
Draft stock.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cooked turkey in my day on Thanksgiving, and you looked way more cooked than that, bud. Like you were putting up.
Honestly, I mean, Igbinosin hasn't been good either.
Yeah, he hasn't been great. He played a lot better than Burke, obviously, and he got spit in the face.
Yeah, he did.
That was.
I'm ready to see what we got with Jermaine Matthews and Aaron Scott and Bryce West.
And that's another thing too. Jermaine Matthews, once again after a loss like this, he tweets out like angry faces, and then probably had to have a talk with coaches to get him like calmed down. So it won't surprise me if that guy transfers.
He could have just been mad that we lost the game in general.
Well, the last time we lost a big game, he went on Twitter and was like, fuck this, blah blah blah. I deserve to be playing type stuff. He wants to play, and he deserves more snaps. He's really good. And in that game, a decision should have been made. Like, hey Denzel, like we're gonna rotate him in.
Right.
Stop being scared to hurt feelings. Hurt some feelings. Sucks to suck. Play better. If you don't want to get taken out, play better.
The defense just needs to look themselves in the face because whatever they're doing is not working.
The
period.
scheme in general, it's the 4-2.
Yeah.
That scheme, and we'll talk about it later. It sucks. It sucks, and it sucked kind of at Oklahoma State, but it looked good when they were a top 5 defense. But in big games against offenses with a pulse, they got torched too. We knew that was a risk. But, like,
I would at least be semi-okay with it if we went back to how he was when he first got here, where he was aggressive, and then it was getting burnt. But you're not even being aggressive anymore, and you're still getting burnt. So it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's what we said, too. We were like, we don't know which Jim Knowles we're going to get. Are we going to get the 2 aggressive one? Are we going to get the 2 passive one? Like,
give me the aggressive one back. At least then we're getting pressure.
Yeah. Get some guys in. Like, when I watch Georgia against Texas, that's the kind of pressure I want to get. God, they just got guys blowing through and getting in there. That's what we should be doing. I don't understand. And maybe it's a personnel thing, too. Maybe the guys we just got suck. They shouldn't.
Don't buy into all the star hype.
Yeah, they shouldn't. But it's hard to say. Like if Jeff Hafley had to hold this defense, it might actually be good.
Trav, what's the glass half full?
I mean, the glass half full is that both defenses sucked. That's
ours just sucked a little worse.
Just sucked a little worse, like he said.
It's true.
I agree with you on the scheme thing. Not giving Denzel Burke any help really seemed kind of stupid to me. Honestly, my entire thought the second half of that game was they were coaching a game where they knew that they were going to see this team again, and they were either trying not to give up too much of what they had planned, or were just taking what the offense was giving them to plan for next time.
These
is what it really
you
felt
better
like.
Hope that there's a next time.
These stats.
I think there will be, but
right now
you're right.
We actually need Wisconsin and Illinois to lose a game. If both went out, we don't go to Indy.
Well, Wisconsin's going to lose another game. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah, so is Illinois. Illinois plays Oregon this weekend.
Right. So it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that same article, and I kind of chuckled at it. I'm like, okay, first off, Wisconsin's going to lose another game.
Yeah.
Let's because I think they play like Penn State, and then I think they also play Oregon.
Yeah, they play Oregon. They play they play some heavy.
Like, I'm sorry, you're gonna lose another game.
Yeah.
And then Illinois, they're probably gonna lose to Oregon. So
yeah, they should.
I'm not too concerned with that one.
Honestly, boys, like down the line, the stats for this game were virtually even. It's just the third downs, they did a little better, and penalties, we did way worse.
And that's what I was going to say about the defense is that's the kind of glass half full type deal, I guess, and I listened to Klatt, and Klatt said this. A lot of what this defense did was it was like stop, and then big play.
Yep.
Like first down, second down, third down did their job. Fourth, or first and second down did their job. Third down, what the fuck?
Yep. Exactly.
It was just, kind of like what Ryan was saying. They bend. Oh shit, they broke.
Yep. And they did a lot. And of course the turnover differential too. The 2 turnovers for us to the 0 for them. Of course, they found a way to not make a mistake against us, and then the next week against Purdue, they turned the ball over a couple times. So it was like
and their quarterback got sacked.
Yeah,
finally.
really?
Finally.
Yeah, no sacks.
And they still shut them out.
Yeah, they still shut them out. Yeah, because the Purdue the spoiler maker magic's gone. Like that's dead. Boy, they are
It's crazy, though. They put up 0 against Oregon, but they put up 49 against Illinois.
And I still don't know how that happened.
I don't either.
That fourth quarter, they just, like, all of a sudden found a freaking ball. Like, Wolverine fans were extra dejected after losing to Illinois because they were like, by the way, Purdue put 49 on this team and took them to overtime. I'm like, they sure did. Shows how bad you are. God. Like,
What the hell happened to
they
your
are the
game?
worst team in the conference, and they still couldn't score more than 7 points on Illinois. That was the most beautiful thing last weekend, watching those losers. And boys, we talked about, a little off topic here, but we talked about predicting Team Up North's rest of the season. If they do not win this Sparty game this weekend, they might not make a bowl game this year.
That's right.
Oh God! And
Oh yeah.
because they'll beat Northwestern probably, but boy, they gotta play us. They gotta play Indiana. They gotta play Oregon. LLL.
Woo!
God, wow. When it rains, it pours, and that's my saving grace. That Wolverine fans only had a week to gloat about us losing to Oregon, and then they just went to abysmally depressed again.
Oh, I know. My buddy made that post saying check on me because I'm depressed and everything. I actually had random people that I don't know actually message me like, hey, I don't know you, but I just want to make sure you're okay. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but Ohio State just lost and he's trying to be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the people who I don't know personally that actually checked on me after the game, thank you.
Good people.
I was okay.
Good people.
Well, now I feel like a dick because I usually give him a day, and then I check on him.
But all in all, back to the game. All in all, at the end of the day, we lost by a point when we should have had a chance to win there on the road in what is now one of the toughest places to play in the Big Ten. I heard it's really loud.
That's another thing. Yeah. We need an environment like that. Our environment is...
It sucks in comparison. I still think Happy Valley's better, but Oregon's probably number 2 now in the Big Ten.
But the issue is Oregon is half the size of Happy Valley, basically.
I was very embarrassed seeing all the pictures of Ohio State fans doing this. Now, granted, they were all almost older people, but I saw that and I was just like, really, guys, you got to fuel the Oregon Duck fire there and just be like, oh, see, it's so loud here. Shut up. So if we get a rematch in Indy, we're not going to false start as much. Because it's going to be a pro Buckeye crowd there. Let's face it. It's going to be...
But now we lost our left tackle in this situation,
which is probably a bigger loss than the result itself, honestly. Yeah. So we'll see how that affects Ohio State the rest of the day.
And Lathan Ransom's out now, too.
Yeah, he's short-term, though. It said day-to-day. And Quitshawn, who knows how that little procedure is going to do with his hand. You know
what it is, Ryan? It's because they got that big screen behind Alex's head.
Right.
We got the dinky one.
Our screen does suck.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, one of these days I'll get to Autzen Stadium and see for myself how loud that thing is, but it is what it is. But yeah, I like our odds better in Indy. Obviously, we all three preseason picked this as a loss, and then obviously before the game, given what we've seen from both teams, we picked it as a win. It should have been a win. Isn't. So it's not the end of the world. If this was last year in the 14 playoff, yeah, we'd be on very, very, very thin ice. Losing this game does not take Ohio State out of anything because of the 12-team playoff. They can still go to Indy. They can still, and even in a 14 playoff, all they have to do is control their destiny and go beat Oregon in the Big Ten title game, and they probably make the playoff as a one-loss team anyway. So.
Yep.
So it's just
especially the way it's going now.
Yeah, there's just extra cushion now. So, I'm mad about it. Obviously, I want to win these big games. That's what we should be doing. I see everybody keep saying at least we take care of the teams we're supposed to take care of. Unlike Urban Meyer, I'm like, yeah, well, Urban Meyer won a lot of big games. So who the fuck cares? I'd rather lose. I always tell people I'd rather lose to Iowa, beat the team up north, and win the Big Ten, than beat Iowa, not beat the team up north, and not win the Big Ten. It's pretty obvious to me. I mean,
honestly, yeah, I don't really like our chances against Oregon in Indy.
I do.
I do.
Because it'll be a glorified home game.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but they also
and at least in that environment, we actually do a decent job.
Listen, I knew our defense was going to give up a lot of yards in this game. I didn't expect 500. I expected 350 to 400, and that would have made all the difference if you shave 100 yards off of that somewhere.
Well, and like you said, they had what, 3 extra possessions off of 2 mistakes and then 1 lucky play.
This team, it came down to who made more mistakes, and we just made more mistakes.
If you also call that interception on the first drive of the game an interception and not a completed pass, and we don't get that touchdown on that opening drive either.
See, I wouldn't even call that an interception, though. I would have called that an incomplete pass.
It was an interception. It never hit the ground.
Huh?
You know what I could?
It never hit the ground.
You know what?
Yeah, but neither one of them had control over it.
I disagree. He got in what I saw. He got control last second, right as the guy ripped it out of his hand, and that to me is simultaneous possession, and that always goes to the receiver. That's how I saw it. Now I could understand because he bobbled it a lot there at first. I can understand how it's like, oh well, it just.
So are you willing to say that was a touchdown for the team up north last year?
Trying to think what you're talking about.
The interception in the end zone. They got called a touchdown.
That was the same type of thing. You're right. I mean, yeah, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It is what it.
I mean,
but like I said, with that,
don't make him say disgusting things like that, Ryan.
I will say this: with that one, that definitely should have.
Got to keep us honest.
With that one, it should have been called a pick. With this one, I could see why it should have been a pick.
Because it benefited us.
Well, yeah, of course, I like that it benefited us. but I could see why it should have been called a pick in this instance against Oregon too. Like that's why I could see it both ways, because obviously, he in my eyes he got possession like right at the last second there, and then it got ripped. But maybe it's one of those Clemson game type things where in slow-mo it didn't look like it, but in real time you could tell. Yeah, I don't know. So, it is what it is. But
they get their best pass rusher back. He should be back by the time we go to Indy.
Well, that might mean that they lose, because the last 2 times that they played us, they were missing their best defensive player, and they beat us both times. So maybe having their best defensive player, they'll lose this time.
I heard one of their receivers was out too.
Well, one got kicked out because he spit.
One got kicked out, but I think another one was out.
Igby Nelson's face.
I don't think they're.
I don't know.
I don't think it would be anybody that was of.
No, they had Tej Johnson in there. They had Evan Studer in there. And
they had their stars.
They had that Holden guy in there until he spit in Igby Nelson's face. So
great.
And that's another thing we should have taken advantage of and didn't. But they got so many weapons, it doesn't really matter. Just like with us, we were doing pretty much whatever we wanted to their defense too, and that's why I found the fact that everybody was lauding Oregon's defense and shaming ours. I was like, we were skull fucking each other. What are you talking about? Like, we were shredding each other like grated cheese.
When we stopped trying to just be cute with it with those wide receiver screens, we were able to move the ball.
I'm like, we were moving at will most of the time too. It's just it came down to who made more mistakes, and we made more mistakes, penalty wise and drive wise. We didn't capitalize.
I hate wide receiver screens in college football 25, and I hate them in real life.
I love screens in college football 25.
I can never do it right. I don't know I suck, I guess.
I make it work.
I suck, I guess.
That's like a good second, third down play if you need it. Just run a running back screen and it's a first down every time, basically. Unless you're
running back or wide receiver.
Running back. Running back one.
Okay.
Yeah, running back screens are fine. Wide receiver screens on another story.
Wide receiver screens are like 50-50. Sometimes I make those work, other times I don't. But yeah, we will hopefully get to see this team again and pull a Oklahoma, what was that, 2018, where we right the wrongs and beat Texas after we lose to Texas in the regular season.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get to do that. If not, maybe we make the playoff as a 2-loss team, as a lower seed. I don't know how that'll work out for us, but obviously now we need to get there. We need to win out, and then just right the wrongs the next time, because it won't be in Autzen, so they won't have that home crowd advantage. We will definitely travel in droves to Indianapolis. Lord knows Buckeye fans will completely doused that place in red for the most part. So, if we play them again, I have a better feeling about it because I didn't have a good feeling about this one being at Oregon, and we only lost by a point, and we should have won. So,
I would feel better if we lost this game like 20-17 and been like, okay, the offense left some stuff out there to.
Yeah.
See the defense go back to looking like they did for the last few years. It's just like it seems like we just took so much steps back, and that's where I'm really concerned.
It does suck, but hopefully this is one that we look back at and we go, that game caused the change to make us.
I mean, maybe.
Win.
I just had more faith in like if the offense really didn't show up to be able to fix the offensive issues because the offense has talent all around it. The defense does too, but the defense have been playing well supposedly.
Yeah.
And now we see what happens. Like the offense has been doing what the offense is doing. Defense regressed so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Once again. So I mean, let's hope Ryan Day's talk with Jim and Larry finally fixed what needed to be fixed, and we'll see what happens from there. All right, let's talk about this Nebraska game, boys. So Nebraska was looking pretty good to start the year. 5-1 to start the year. They're only one win away from making a bowl game finally again, boys.
Woo!
And they do play UCLA after us, so that might be where they get it. Because outside of that, I think they have a bye week at USC. I think they play Wisconsin, and they end the year with some other tough team too. So
Iowa.
You don't think they'll be bowl eligible after this weekend?
Not this weekend.
No.
Let's be real. Not this weekend. But we got to see what everybody thought would have been a matchup of undefeateds. But of course, Nebraska screwed the pooch in that one game and came in as a one-loss team with Nebraska and Indiana. And a lot of people were picking Nebraska because their defense is so great, super great. Wow. Indiana beat the brakes off of Nebraska. What like 56-7, Travis? I'm sure you're looking at it, right?
Yes.
That's right on the money.
Boy.
Whew.
Indiana, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. I hope Kirk Cignetti finds a new job after. I don't need this. I don't need to be worried about Indiana again. I was worried about him with Kevin Wilson.
Michael Penix.
Yeah, Kevin Wilson, and the 1 year with Michael Penix. Like, I don't need to be worried about them on a yearly basis because Kirk Cignetti is a.
They got that transfer quarterback from OU.
Oh my God! Yeah, who's out now?
Yeah.
So that might be the tide turning thing for the season for them potentially.
But I don't think he's out long term. I think it's like a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know,
Still, they're playing Washington, which could.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like if we're talking about for like us, he should be back by the time.
No,
I
know what you mean.
But I mean, either way, I don't think it's gonna matter because I think they're just such a well-oiled machine with Kirk Cignetti that it doesn't matter. Yeah. Personally,
yeah, really. He wasn't kidding when he came in and said he was gonna.
Google
right.
me.
We all laughed. We even had a whole segment on this show laughing about it.
They're 7-0, and they've won every game by double digits. Like, and a lot of them by big double digits.
I think them and Navy are the only two teams to never trail at all in a game.
Yeah. They've literally.
What, this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've never trailed a single second. Them and Navy.
Damn.
Yeah.
God.
Wild. They've already doubled their win total from last year. They've far doubled what I thought they were gonna be. Like, good.
Yeah, I don't even know where I had them, but
I don't even want to look.
But yeah, so Indiana beat the absolute dog shit out of Nebraska. It was very crazy. So yeah, Nebraska comes into this game basically limping because no lube was applied. No lube was applied, boys. So Nebraska comes in at 5-2. Of course, they got Dylan Ravioli as their quarterback, as we know. The guy who this week came out and said to the media, "I grew up dreaming to be an Ohio State Buckeye." Well, boy, you were committed.
You had the chance there,
You were committed, and you decided to go. And you
left and started wearing Team Up North gear and
then you committed
Georgia gear.
Then you committed
Whoever we
I
played.
know you're still wearing a red jersey. It's the wrong jersey, dummy.
Yeah, you went to Georgia, and then you're like, I want to go to Nebraska like my dad. You should just went to Nebraska to begin with. Like, your legacy there. Go ahead. Like, we would have understood. But now you're saying, I grew up dreaming to be a Buckeye. Well, you had the fucking chance, you dick. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway.
Nope, not that red jersey. Nope, not that red jersey. Nope, not that red.
Against Indiana. I think he threw for, like, no touchdowns, 3 picks.
I will find out.
Good God. Like, he was awful against Indiana.
You are correct.
Yeah.
3 interceptions, 2 of 48 or 40. Yeah, 28 of 44, 234.
Unbelievable. They got 16 returning starters, 7 a pop on offense and defense, a kicker and a punter. So we know Nebraska is, of course, doing what happens under Matt Rule teams. You know, they just progressively get better as years go on because Matt Rule's a good coach. So not a game we can take lightly, especially off a bye week and especially off a game that we just lost off a bye week. So, Ryan, I'll start with you first. Give me some things you want to see in this game. And, of course, afterwards, give me a score prediction.
I want to see Jermaine Matthews and Denzel Burke on the bench. Love to see that, but no. No, I mean, I just want to see this defense. I'm going to touch a lot here probably on them. I want to see the defense come out and try and find their identity again. Try and figure out who they are after the big letdown against Oregon. Like, you came out there, you gave up over 500 yards after looking like one of the best defenses out there, top 5 defense. You shut Western Michigan out. Then, you basically had a shutout against Iowa until those second strings got in and gave it. So, I mean, everything was looking so good for the defense that, like, we kind of didn't even worry about them that much. We're like, okay, the defense is going to do its thing, but then they didn't.
Right.
And now we're all sitting here questioning it, like, is it fixed or is it still just same old defense here? When we play someone good or someone that has a passing attack, they can still torch us.
Right.
Because I think stopping the run doesn't seem to be the issue. The issue seems to be the air raid.
Yeah, that running back for Oregon, I mean, he had like 70 or 80 yards deep into the fourth quarter, and then eventually broke 100.
Right.
We were outside of a couple pop runs that he had, we were doing pretty good against him.
Right. The inside defensive line is strong, and I'm not really worried about that spot, but I'm just worried about, like, if you're not getting pressure on these quarterbacks and you're leaving these corners on an island after you're having them 10 yards off, like, not a good combination here.
Yeah.
So I just want the defense to really find their identity. Hell, if we get 1 sack in this game, I might just do a backflip in my living room. I mean, at this point, give me a sack, something. But
I literally I put 1 sack backflip.
There you go. Yeah. I can't do one, but I might give it a shot.
Just do it on your bed. That way, when you smack your head, it won't hurt as much.
I might come in here like Kurt Angle next week with a broken freaking neck.
Do a podcast with a broken freaking neck.
Right.
No. Buy a gold medal off Amazon.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, just find the identity. At least get a sack. Maybe get a turnover. We saw Dylan Raiola, like we said, turn it over a lot last week. So you got a freshman quarterback coming in here, and he was once committed here to Ohio State. So go ahead and make his life difficult on Saturday. Do what you got to do.
Right.
And just don't give up 500 yards. Don't give up 500 yards. I'm not even going to set the bar low.
500 yards. For the love of all things sacred. Okay.
Right. And then offensively, I just want to see, Will Howard kind of just block everyone out that kind of hated on him for that game and just come out here and play his game again. Play like you did against Oregon. I don't think you played a bad game. I think he played a really good game. He did everything that we were supposed to do. I'd just like to see him block it out and keep playing like he was, because that Will Howard should easily win us a ton of games.
Yeah, that last touchdown we scored, like, he was a dog on that drive.
Right. Like, even the last drive of the game, he even, like, floppy, but he had us moving still, too. So
does
and
anybody know Shamaya Page?
yeah,
No.
that's my brother's girlfriend.
Oh,
That's why I
gotcha.
said
What's up
Go.
and go blow? What would you like? What would you like Ryan to blow?
Oh.
every time he says that, I put jackets at the end.
Yeah, there you go. That's a way to counter it. I like that.
There
I like
you
that.
go.
So he always says that, and I'll say jackets, and
Nice.
but yeah, that's my counter to him when he says that crap. But yeah, I just want to see Will Howard continue to just take control of the offense. The offense really was doing their thing. I want to see the run game get more involved because we went away from that last game against Oregon. I want to see right. I'd like to see him get back over 150, 175
What
yards.
surprised me from Chip Kelly, I'm like, man, why aren't you running it more?
I know. That's what I'm talking
Makes
about.
no
My
sense.
buddy who loves Chip Kelly because he's like, oh, we got Chip Kelly, we're going to do this. He's like, Chip Kelly ran the ball so much at Oregon and everywhere else that he's been, and he won't do it here for some reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That was
yeah,
wild to me.
I don't get it. But I'd like to see the run game get more involved in this week, get 150, 175 plus on the ground. Will Howard, I don't want you to throw for 300. Screw it. If it's going to come in a loss, don't do it. Give me 250 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. We're good. We're good.
How many tutties?
3.
Three tutties. Okay,
That's reasonable.
that's reasonable.
So, I don't know.
Give me a score.
I just want to see Ohio State come out here and just basically own Nebraska. Just come out here and make a state.
Yeah.
Do what Indiana did, but
Better.
I don't have the hopes for it. But I'm
That's
hoping.
fair.
I mean, I want it to happen.
That's fair. That's fair.
So the spread's 25.5.
Yeah.
What's the over-under for that? I don't remember what that was.
I will check. Give me 1 second. I had it up.
Probably going over.
48.5.
Oh,
Yes, he just beat me to it.
if it's 48.5, we should cover that by ourselves, right?
Should.
Should.
I'll take the Buckeyes. 52-28.
52-28. God, I hope we don't give up 28 to them.
Until we don't, I watched the Oregon game.
Hey, listen. I mean, let's
28.
Let's go back here real quick. You had Ohio State 28-24, so you knew Oregon was getting in the 20s. We all did. I meን that.
Yes.
Well, except Travis. Travis said 38-17, so he was a little more optimistic about it.
I was just disrespectful.
I said 35. I said 35-21. So, I mean, Ryan got the closest, but both teams ended up getting in the 30s. So, that sucked.
Right.
I figured if we got in the 30s, we were winning that game, and we almost did.
No doubt in my mind, if Ohio State scores 30 in a game, they should not lose.
For sure, they should. They at one point in the Ryan Day era, they were like undefeated when scoring 30 in a game. Then all of a sudden that started falling by the wayside.
That streak's gone.
That started falling by the wayside.
They might be on a losing streak now with scoring.
They might. Well, no, they wouldn't be.
No, not really.
They got a few losses in there though.
I mean,
It
technically they
feels
are
like
on a
in big
streak with
games
scoring 30.
probably. Yeah, it feels like losing.
Yeah, in the big games. That's where my mind was when I said that.
Big
Then I
games,
instantly thought
scoring
Marshall
over 30. We're
Iowa.
probably on a losing streak. But yeah, Travis, go ahead.
Biggest thing is I want to see kind of what I'm probably just going to reiterate a lot of what Ryan said. Will Howard, I really don't need to see a spectacular game out of him. I think 250, 3 touchdowns is pretty good for Will Howard. I don't need to see 300. I would love to see it if we win. Please. But, I think 250 is good for him. No mistakes. If you can manage it, don't throw picks. He's done decently at that. And I was very surprised that he didn't throw a pick.
God, me too.
In the Oregon game. So keep that up, honestly. Keep that up. Running game, same thing with Ryan. Love to see the running game get going again. Would love to see how Judkins is faring. I assume he's going to play, but if he does, I want to see how he's doing. If he plays a lot of snaps, if he doesn't, I think we can honestly run down their throats with Travion, so it's not really that big of a deal. But get the run game going for sure. and that's both in the passing game and the running game. So get those horses running, get those yards up. I'd probably like to see at least 2 rushing touchdowns total. I don't really have anything for the wide receivers. Those guys have balled out, honestly, a lot better than I expected. Egbuka has been stud as far as I've been
already
concerned.
passed his yard total for last year already.
I believe it. I mean, he's been a stud. I mean, and we know what we have in Jeremiah Smith. I do have something for the wide receivers, and it actually is Jeremiah Smith. Tune out last week, or tune out 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Tune out everything that everybody's saying about you, me included. I gave him shit for that PI call too. Tune out everything that anybody is saying to you right now about what the fuck ever happened in that game. Yeah. Doesn't matter. You still balled the hell out.
Learned a lesson.
You are an incredible talent. Do what you do.
Yep.
That's all I ask. Do what you do. And I hope during the bye week they told him the same damn thing. Doesn't matter.
Be you. Do what you do.
Be you. Be you. If you make a mistake, next play. Go out there and torch them.
Be you. Do what you do.
Something like that, yeah. So that's my thing for Jeremiah Smith.
So it's like that one time when he had the fumble. I mean, he came back out
right.
Grab it. He was the touchdown.
Yeah. Right. He didn't get to have another chance really to come back from that mistake because it was right at the end of the game there.
But defense, I mean, kind of the same as Ryan. I want to see them respond to that game because you need to show some responding to that game. That can come in the form of either 2. I want to see 2 turnovers. Doesn't matter what. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, interception, fumble, doesn't matter. I would love to see 2 turnovers because I think, especially with the way that Riola played against Indiana, I do think this defense is very capable of making that kid mess up. We saw it happen in the Michigan State game. If these teams are this turnover heavy, we have the defense, I believe, to still make them pay for that. So make Nebraska pay for that. Yardage-wise, I'm going to say no more than 250 total. Please, God.
That's half than what I asked for.
I know. Please, God, 250 total.
Yeah, please.
Because like you guys said, running defense has not really been the issue. It's the passing defense. So, honestly, if we give up, I said 250. So, if we give up 100 yards rushing and 150 passing, I can live with that. With this. But you've got to hunker down on that passing defense. And I would love to see some scheming to where you're giving the corners some help and the safety some help. Like for the longest time, the middle of the field, we see so many times where this defense plays help defense to where if they're throwing in the middle of the field, there's like 3 bodies around that player. Why the hell is that not happening on the corners?
That's true.
Happen on the corner. Make it happen on the corners. So that's my thing for the defense. Score prediction. I'm not going to give Nebraska as much credit as Ryan did because fuck that.
I don't want to give them that much credit, but until the defense can get back to it, I'm going to start picking high again.
I can't give that stupid kid with that haircut that much credit.
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm gonna say we don't pass Indiana's score on them, but we do hold them to less than Indiana does. I'm gonna say 49-3.
49-3. Buckeyes. Okay.
I might cry.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I need that on video if you do.
I don't even care about the shutout at this point. Just.
I was gonna go there, but I didn't want to break your little heart if it didn't happen.
I'm gonna keep Howard to the 300. I'm gonna say 2 touchdowns. I want him to replicate the Oregon game, but don't fuck up at the end.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Don't.
Running game. I want to see 200 rushing yards in this game, and give me a couple tutties there. Hopefully Quidshawn's back in form after that procedure. We'll see. Might be a couple weeks before he is. But we need him for Penn State. So that's all I know.
Yes.
Wide receivers, just continue to do your thing. Defensive wise, I'll echo Travis. Just respond from that Oregon game. Give me 1 turnover,
That's what I said too.
and I'll be happy. Oh, you said it too? Okay. Well, what all of us said then. Defense, just respond from there. I'll give him a little more cushion because of Dylan Raiola. I'll say no more than 300 total yards given up. And as far as a score prediction goes, let's go 42-17 Buckeyes. I think that's doable. Because if they score over 20, I'm just going to be pissed off. Because they really should.
Because they should.
And then, of course, everybody's going to be like, oh, and see, Indiana's so much better than Ohio State. They beat them 56-7. You didn't. Whatever. Fuck it. Always happens every year. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to fiend the trolls off. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Wow.
As long as we go into Happy Valley the next week and beat them, doesn't matter. It is what it is. Yeah. Just win the games. But yeah, we'll see if Ohio State's defense rallies from the loss, and we'll see if Ohio State can get back on the winning track, because they got a 1-week gap till they go to Penn State on Big Noon kickoff. Once again, we're getting saved from the night game. and like, I'm okay with that, but just one more time make it a night game so I can go. And then you could do noon for the rest of eternity. I don't care, as long as I get to experience once. Maybe I'll just have to go to like a game as a neutral person that they have a night game for. You know, maybe I'll just have to do that.
I just hate noon games in general. Give me night all the time.
Yeah, well, do you really want to go to Happy Valley at night?
I don't care. I hate noon games.
I get it, but like, let's not put more crap on ourselves than needs to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. When we come back, we'll have the Ryan Rundown. We'll talk about what did we learn in college football this week and the college football playoff dead or alive list on the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.
This is the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.
Hey there, darling, let me count on you. The road is long and I'm scared what I might find. Won't you tuck me in and out? Tell me everything's gonna be alright, sweet child. Sweet child. Up in the morning, out that door. Who knows what the world has in store for me? I'll be safe with you by my side. Ain't nothing out there can't take in stride. I know you hold me up. You hold me up. So I can fly. When that cold creeps on in and I start to wonder what could have been, I'm just gonna close my eyes so tight, take your hand and keep me to the morning light, to the morning light. and ain't it bright? You hold me up, you hold me up, you hold me up, so I can fly.
Sound the alarms! Something monstrously merry is coming to town. Introducing Bones Coffee's newest batch. Inspired by the giddy ghouls of Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Nice work, Bones Caddy. Rich premium coffee infused with frighteningly festive flavors. The Pumpkin King, Santa Jack, Frog's Breath, Rough Weather, and Mudslide Boogie. Can't make decisions by yourself? Order them all. Bones also makes a perfectly marvelous gift for everyone on your nice list.
And your naughty list.
Click the link to get these hauntingly holly jolly flavors delivered right to your door. And it's not just for holidays. Bones has coffee concoctions for all 365 days of the year. Bones Coffee and Disney Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's terrifyingly tasty. This year, Bones Coffee will be yours!
And we're back on the Buckeye Bro Show. Ryan, are you ready for the Ryan Rundown?
Let's do
Here
it.
we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is time for the Ryan Rundown.
Tom Brady reads. All right, go ahead.
Well, I said on Sunday that it was going to top the list this week. So we're going to start with NASCAR this week. Joey Logano. There you go. There it is. Joey Logano gets the job done in another fuel mileage race at Las Vegas. His third win of the season, fourth if you include the All-Star race. And now he has locked himself in to the championship four. We're going to Phoenix. The last time Joey Logano won this race, he went on to Phoenix to win the championship. So
I heard there's
well,
something about Joey Logano in even years.
There is. Joey Logano has made it to the championship four every even year since this format has been put together.
Oh, it's disgusting.
He doesn't miss in the even years. Now, the odd years, I'm out. There's no reason to watch because we're not going to make it.
Look forward to next year, then.
No, next year, it's a dud season. I'm already prepared
enjoy
for
it right now, you know.
I got to enjoy the championship that's coming in about 2 weeks.
Joey Logano became the Undertaker and rose from the dead, you know, and
he really did.
he made the most of it. You know, just like a few Alabama teams, you know, they shouldn't have been to the playoffs. They got an opportunity and they made the most of it. So
he's made the most of it. He went from not being in to getting in and winning the race last week and punching his ticket to Phoenix already. So we'll see how this plays out. But now the next tournament, he's not going to do anything. They're just going to keep preparing the car.
I hate Joey Logano.
It's okay because I hate Travis's favorite.
I need God to somehow put the idea back in Matt Kenseth's head that he can race in a NASCAR race again, just so I can watch that beautiful magic one more time.
Who's that?
Of Matt Kenseth.
Who's that number 3 car driver? Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon.
He's gonna wreck him and cost him the championship.
That was the cherry on top from that race. He wrecked. He wrecked this past week, and then he cried about it. He's like, I don't know what he was thinking. I'm like, you got your nerve.
Joey Logano's got nerve. Joey Logano's got nerve.
To be fair, I'm with Ryan on this one. Austin Dillon.
You got nerve, kid.
What are we talking about here, man?
But no, I'm looking forward to Phoenix here in a couple weeks, so hopefully I'll have a third championship to talk about. But moving on, so Travis doesn't have to hear it anymore. I won't gloat on this show, but I'll gloat later. College football wise, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Georgia goes into Texas and gets the win 30-15. We'll touch on that a little bit more later. And then Tennessee goes and defeats Alabama 24-17, handing Bama their second loss of the season. Maybe I was wrong.
Two things about that. The state of Tennessee owns Alabama this year, and now we know what that LANK thing that Milrow or the lank. It doesn't stand for let a naysayer know. It stands for lose at Nashville and Knoxville.
That's right. That's where he loses.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep.
That sounds way better than what Reese Davis said.
Yeah. He was about to say he was about.
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah, Pat. Yeah, that was.
I wonder if they told him that before.
There is a
after.
reason. There's a reason why Pat McAfee is the best thing to happen in sports, and that's one of them.
He is.
God, that was so great.
He's the only thing ESPN has going for it.
Oh, it really does. He is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Anyway.
And then, great news for us, like we talked about earlier, Illinois defeats the team up north 21-7. So I got to make the same post this past week. Telling everybody to check on him.
You did it with swanky helmets.
Thank you.
They did those helmets.
Thank you for Illinois for providing that beautiful entertainment. That was something. That was great.
Right. That was great. And then another one that we've already touched on too. Indiana defeated Nebraska 56-7 on Big Noon kickoff. They made a statement.
Jesus Christ. Woo. And now College Game Day is going there, I guess.
Yeah, might as well.
That's pretty cool.
Everyone's jumping on the train now, so hey, we'll see if Indiana can keep riding this wave.
They better pay Kirk Cincinnati whatever he wants.
Right. NFL-wise, the Battle of Ohio happened. The Bengals defeated the Browns 21-14. Deshaun Watson's season is now over. Browns fans rejoiced and cheered and pissed off the Browns players in the process.
Everybody knew that was coming if he ever got hurt. They wanted him benched.
Yeah.
You know, Browns fans were ruthless, man. They really are.
And now the Browns have signed Bailey Zappi, and they're starting Jameis Winston this week. So
at least they...
So they're going to win the rest of their games except for 2.
Fun fact, Jameis Winston is one of 8 quarterbacks to ever throw for 5,000 yards in a season.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
And he had like 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
And that's the year he threw identical touchdowns and picks.
Yeah, so, it was like 30 and 30.
Yep. That was before he got his eyes fixed.
He could. Oh, yeah. Now he can see.
Now he can see.
Now he can see the picks he throws.
In London, my Patriots let me down. They were defeated by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 32-16. They hung around there. They came out hot. I mean, it looked good for a second. I like what I've seen out of Drake May.
If you could actually get some weapons, that might actually be an offense.
I don't even think you need the weapons. I think you just got to get the offense.
Very critical of Gerard Mayo calling the team soft.
I mean, they are. Both my football teams are right now. I got it. Look at Trav. But no, I mean, Belichick kind of has some points there. He's like, this team last year with the same defense was the number 1 rush defense, and now they're like 26. So something happened.
Yeah. You can only be such a good defense when your offense is really kind of in need.
You know what happened? Bill Belichick's not the coach anymore. That's what happened.
It's true.
Well, that's true.
I mean, the offense is better this year.
It's gotten better with Drake, for sure. No doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, Drake May has come out there and he's moving the ball down the field. The only time it stalled, I mean, if we would have never went away from the pass game this past weekend and tried to force the rush game, I think we could have beat Jacksonville. But it is what it is. They tried to run it so much that we ended up with like 35 rushing yards in the game. It just wasn't working. The offensive line, we're down to like all practice squad players on this offensive line right now. So it's brutal.
Yeah, no doubt.
I like Demario Douglas. I like what I've seen out of Keyshawn Boutte. Jalen Pope, stop saying you got the best hands in the NFL because you can't catch a damn thing, kid. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
All right, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens this week against Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and the New York Packers.
Yeah, New York Packers.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we'll see. And then
you mean the guy that's seeing George Pickens in his sleep twice now.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the Detroit Lions handed the Minnesota Vikings their first loss of the season. They won 31-29. So
Toughest division in football. Fuck.
it is. It is. And then the Green Bay Packers defeated the Houston Texans 24-22.
We got a
CJ
kicker!
Stroud didn't even hit 100. I know. They got a kicker.
I believe in Jeff Hafley. God.
Have your moment.
I want him back in Columbus, though. Torn.
Give them both.
But we finally got a kicker. Go, Pack, go. Yeah, that had to have been Stroud's worst game of his career so far, right? 86 yards passing. God, we shut him down. It shouldn't have even been really that close, but of course it had to be in typical Packers fashion. Yeah, we did our thing. Go, Pack, go. Keeping strong, steady with this division right now, which all of a sudden decides everybody wants to be good.
Everyone wants to be above 500.
I guess everybody wants to make the playoff. Whatever. Hope.
So we'll see how that plays out. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the San Francisco 49ers 28-18. Now the 49ers are officially below 500. They're 3-4?
Yeah, and they got like 80 injuries.
Yeah, the injury bug. This is just like the year they went and drafted Trey Lance.
Which bodes well for the Packers because 49er-less playoff might mean Super Bowl. Maybe.
I told you who's making the playoffs out of the NFC.
Yeah.
Well, 7 teams make the playoffs out of the NFC, right?
I meant the Super Bowl. I thought you said Super Bowl for a second.
I did say they'll win a Super Bowl, but you said I told you.
You did say playoffs.
Yeah, you said I told you who's making the playoffs.
I know who's making the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
No, you're gonna be wrong. You might be half right. Maybe.
I might be.
Maybe.
I might be completely right.
Because the Chiefs are playing like shit, but they are undefeated.
they don't lose though.
Yeah. The Ravens are clearly the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
There's another team that has something to say about that, right, Travis? The
I
Pittsburgh
don't know.
Steelers.
I don't know who my quarterback is, so I can't answer
defeated
that
the
question.
Jets 37-15 with Russell Wilson.
He started out shit. He finished out pretty solid.
He started out like shit.
There is a way they could use both quarterbacks. Once again, Justin Fields getting the shaft. I was really rooting for the Jets for more than one reason, obviously, because of that. But I guess that's why, like Tomlin said, they pay him the big money.
The streak continues for me. When I pick the Steelers to win, they lose. And when I pick the other team to win, the Steelers win. So I need to go back to picking the Steelers.
Please. Unless Justin Fields gets back in, then you can do whatever.
Yeah. Right. And then MLB-wise, Alex and I, we've been hit with disappointment. Our teams have been eliminated, and now we have the World Series is set. It starts on Friday, Game 1. Yankees versus Dodgers. Shocker.
I'll always have Game 3 of the ALCS.
There you go.
We were so
That was a good one.
We were so competitive, and like in games 1 and 2, we just erred our way out of being in those games, and then like we were right there, and
right.
It is what it is. Just gotta spend more money, but we have a cheap owner, so
I'll always have Game 3 of the NLDS.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Dodgers in 6. Calling it now.
We'll see.
Dodgers in 6.
I hope the Yankees get it done.
I hope they don't. They have enough championships.
I have to agree. I hope they don't.
Shohei Ohtani.
I made a deal with my Yankees, buddy. I said, hey, you guys can have the World Series as long as I can have the NASCAR championship.
Shohei Ohtani deserves a ring. He's the best player to ever be created in baseball. He's gonna win.
All rise.
No.
So we'll see.
Juan Soto's carrying that team. And Giancarlo Stanton. Let's pitch to him some more. Woo, that's a smart idea. Out of the park. Manuel Clause, greatest
closer in
baseball. Choke-a-thon.
I didn't think it was clear in there for a home run, and then it was just gone. I mean, the way that the defender was backing up to the wall, I thought he had it lined up, and then it just.
You and me both, bud. You and me both.
Yep. And then the last thing on the list, something for me and Travis to be a little happy about.
Ooh.
The Columbus Blue Jackets are being competitive and even a little bit more. They've won 3 games. I said they'd only win 20.
It's amazing what happens when you have a coach.
What's the record?
Right. 3-3.
See, my Ducks are 3-2-1.
Yeah.
So right there with you.
Not so shabby. So it's been a good season. I was at the one last night. That was a nice surprise win, 6-2 over Toronto. The Jackets have beaten Toronto, Buffalo, and Colorado. So.
And they're scoring more than 2 goals.
Right. Hey, and the best part is they seem to not want to start Elvis anymore. Tarasov is out there doing his thing for us right now.
I'm a little sad about that, but that's okay.
Whatever works.
I'm not so sad. I was done with Elvis. But we'll go.
I just like having a goalie named Elvis, man. It's cool.
I mean, it sounds cool if he could play good.
Man's been through a lot.
That whole organization has been through a lot.
Yeah, the whole team's been through a lot.
And that's the understatement of the fucking year for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I honestly thought like this team would just come out flat. But they've actually done the opposite. They've come out hungry. They are competitive. They're not, like Travis said, but they got a coach now who's actually coaching. I've seen so much more promise with this team. They come in, they actually like bring the puck up the ice and make plays. They're not.
I haven't got to watch much. Are they actually not turning it over at mid-ice anymore?
Not really, no. I mean,
I'm
they've
ready
actually
to be hurt by the Ducks. I know it's coming. I'm ready to be hurt.
Because that's been their biggest thing for like the last 5 years is because we have speed to move it up the ice, but every damn time this team got puck mid-ice, they would turn it over and give the team the puck the other way and put a goalie in a 2-on-1 situation, sometimes 3. I mean, it pissed me off every single year.
But right now, they're playing solid. The offense has been there now. It's just getting the defense figured out.
I know my phone blows up every single game.
Hockey literally has like the shortest offseason of all time. Like the season like just ended, I feel like.
Doesn't NASCAR have the who has the shortest? Is it NASCAR or golf?
Basketball does too. I think golf just like goes. I don't think it ever stops.
I don't even know what the off season is for golf. I don't follow it.
It just goes all the time.
I know NASCAR has a short one though, for sure.
NASCAR is from the beginning. Now it's the beginning of November to like the middle of February.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and then basketball and hockey end in June, and then they start back up in October. So they're right around the same.
Speaking of basketball,
NASCAR just takes the holidays off.
Speaking of basketball, Ryan, we're down 4 at half in game number 1.
Yeah, I got it right here.
So, go Heat.
Not surprised. Orlando owned us last year. I won't be surprised if they do it again. Go Heat. But we'll talk about them next week once we actually start getting further into the season.
Hooray!
LeBron and his son shared 2 minutes together on the court last night.
You know, I thought about touching on that, but I felt like all social media gave them enough.
Yeah, you know, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves, when his kid was on the court, went on like a 7-0 run, and then he got promptly put on the bench for the rest of the game. So
quickly,
yeah. So, yeah.
He had 0 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists, and he was over 2.
So, Bronny James, everybody, Bronny James.
Yep. But that's it. We'll touch on NBA and everything more next week.
Alrighty. All right, what did we learn in college football the last couple weeks? Here we go.
Don't you just love this game?
Touchdown!
Quarterback has the ball, fades back. There's the throw. He goes long, and the catch, and he's in there. Touchdown!
It's all over!
My God, I shall cherish this forever. I say, Opie, I'll trade you this baseball for your souvenir bat.
Sure.
What did you learn?
All right, what did we learn in college football the last couple of weeks since we weren't here last week? Number 1.
It's still depressing.
Yeah. Ohio State's defense is the same old shit in big games, number 1.
I love that that's number 1.
Yeah.
That's what I would put number 1.
Yep. Same old shit. Different day.
Yep.
You know.
Now I'm sad again.
Yeah. So there's that. Number 2, Oklahoma may not survive the SEC. Boy.
I don't think you have to put him A there.
I
mean,
they could, because, like, look.
Venables won't survive the SEC.
He definitely won't. He definitely won't. They just fired their OC. Venables isn't going to last long if that continues. And I mean, granted, Venables' first year was really bad, and they were in the Big 12. And then last year, they had a better year with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, who just beat us, of course. And then they pushed him out for Jackson Arnold, and boy, was that like the mistake of the century. They should have kept Dylan Gabriel there, and then maybe we'd be undefeated right now.
Maybe.
Thanks, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, they might not survive the SEC unless they end up being like Missouri and A&M were, where they kind of just came in the SEC, especially Missouri, and like won the SEC East right away, and they actually have been pretty competitive for the most part.
Problem is, there's no East anymore.
Yeah, at least there's no East anymore. So, yeah, number 3, and this is my second favorite one on this list because number 4 is my favorite. Rutgers and Utah really blew it with their easy schedules. Boy, we talked at nauseam about how easy those schedules were for both of those teams, and Utah especially pissed it away. They're already 3.
I was gonna say Utah's the worst one there, but yeah,
like they already have 3 losses. They're out.
I heard that like they're already trying to like get a medical redshirt for Cam Rising so he can come back for an 8th year.
It's like what'll it matter if he gets hurt again? Like this, they should have, with that schedule after they beat Oklahoma State, they should have ran through the conference. And all of a sudden,
have you guys ever seen?
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen the video on YouTube of Scott Sterling?
No.
Go on YouTube. There's a video of Scott Sterling. It's a comedy bit where it's this goalie that plays for Yale, and it's some championship game, Yale versus North Carolina, and first they're doing penalty kicks. First kick, he gets kicked right in the face with the ball, and then it goes to North Carolina. They make their kick, so then it goes back to Yale. He's still in the game. I forget what happens. Either it hits the crossbar and smacks him in the face again. It's like 3 or 4 times where somehow the ball finds his face. That's what I picture when I think of Cam Rising.
True.
He's broken. Let him die.
I mean, it's bad.
Let him move on to pasture, and I don't mean die. Seriously. I mean, let him move on to pasture. We don't need this.
Right.
He's not gonna rise anymore, guys. Just let it die.
It's Cam falling now.
That story made me remember what I left off the Ryan Rundown.
What? Soccer?
We're a soccer town here.
Yeah,
in
we got Ohio State, #1 men's soccer team in the country.
Ohio State topping the charts in men's soccer. Columbus Crew back in the playoffs. Their game is next Tuesday.
There you go. Darn.
Who needs football? We got soccer.
We got football.
Yeah.
Football.
That's what we learned this week.
Yeah, Rutgers too. They got 2 losses already, and it's like, boy, man, I think they lost to UCLA. Like, how are you losing to UCLA? Like, they're so bad, Rutgers.
Right.
Rutgers is blowing it right now. For a team that was like undefeated for 5-6 games or whatever, they just fallen off a cliff now all of a sudden. Number 4, this one's my favorite. Michigan is cooked for the foreseeable future. They got the softest coach in America. He is in shambles right now. Any interview he does, he's just so depressed, and
he can't cry.
And they're so cooked. Even Joel Klatt's talking about how cooked they are. Like, it's bad up in Ann Arbor, and it couldn't happen to a more deserving group of fucks, honestly. Like, I had a Wolverine fan block me today just because he brought up a clip of J.D. Vance talking to Theo Vaughn on the podcast about like Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, and how a buddy of his told some guy or his kid or whatever, hey, you won't be depressed if you don't root for teams that suck, and he of course he brought politics into it, and I said, that's my VP, and he immediately blocked me. Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, they're cooked for the foreseeable future. Absolutely screwed, and I love it. Number 5, and this is the glaring one. Alabama being ranked lower than Indiana was not on our bingo cards.
No.
Wow. It is a reality that Indiana is at like 13, Alabama's at 15, and it's almost November. In what world would that happen other than like college football 25?
There's not a single SEC team that's undefeated anymore. They all have one loss.
Yep. But the Big Ten has a few even. They can't say that our conference isn't tough when we got 3 teams undefeated. Point blank.
Just means more.
Yeah, it just means more. It really does. I like that, Ryan. But yeah, that's what we learned in college football last couple weeks. That Alabama being ranked lower than Indiana. God, wow. That'll be something that gets talked about for a while up there in Bloomington. And good for them. They've never been able to be happy about anything football ever, and now they just are, I guess. All right, this was Week 7's college football dead or alive list. This was after, of course, we lost to Oregon, so we fell a spot. I put Arizona State up because they beat Utah, and I said if they beat Utah, I'd move them up. So that's what it looked like. These two after Week 7 there, and then the bottom here, we had Rutgers finally lose a game, so I put them down to alive but irrelevant. Then Utah, Virginia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Colorado all lost, so they went down to on life support. And then we added some dead teams: South Carolina, Cal, USC. Which, wow, USC being dead this early was wild.
They were going to win the Big Ten.
Yeah, Central Florida, Arizona, Florida, Oregon State, Kentucky, and West Virginia joined the dead ranks. And here is the current dead or alive list. We are down to 7 undefeated Power 4 teams. Miami, Pitt, which wasn't on my bingo card, Indiana, which obviously wasn't on my bingo card, Oregon and Penn State, obviously, and then, of course, everybody knew BYU and Iowa State was going to lead the Big 12, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
what a great year.
Wild stuff. Obviously, Texas loses, so they go on shaky ground. I moved Washington State back up. I felt they deserved it to be on shaky ground. I completely eliminated the alive but irrelevant tier right now. There's really nobody that's alive that's really irrelevant at this point because, we're down to this many undefeated or one-loss teams. So these are the teams listed right here outside of, obviously, the one group of 5 slot who are in position to make the playoff as we stand. I believe the rankings come out in 2 weeks as well, so we'll see how those start to fare. And then here's the rest on life support. Rutgers and Nebraska joined the ranks along with Arizona State, who just had moved up, and then they decided to go and fuck up. Alabama on life support, and Texas Tech. And then we added a bunch more dead teams here. We got Boston College, which they lasted a lot longer than a lot maybe thought they would. Virginia, Louisville, Oklahoma, the shambles that they are. Georgia Tech finally joins the dead ranks. The team up north, Rafflecopter, they're dead. Arkansas, Iowa, and Utah being the most disappointed of those. Wow. A team that really should have been undefeated, or at least a one-loss team in their conference. They're already out of the playoffs. So that is the college football playoff dead or alive list. We're going to go on break again. When we come back, we will have Hot Wheels Hot Takes, talk about Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, and rapid-fire picks on the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.
This is the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.
Yum, yum, get your some. Yum, yum, get your some. Yum, yum, get your some. Yum, yum, get your some.
Gano Seasoning, food's favorite flavor.
Yum, yum, get you some.
I'm Joe Burrito, your favorite burrito. Whoa, whoa.
Joe,
hey.
We all know you're the best.
What?
You can always do better. Try the new Dano's Hot Chipotle.
Hey. Ooh, that's spicy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, get you some.
Icy Breeze is the world's first portable air conditioner and cooler. A premium ice cooler that doubles as an eco-friendly portable air conditioner. This is not a swamp cooler just blowing air across ice. Over 60 parts and components allow Icy Breeze to achieve what no other product in the world can do. The secret behind the Icy Breeze is an innovative design that circulates chilled ice water through a heat exchanger in the lid, replacing the Freon used in most ACs. Fresh air is drawn from hidden vents in the top of the cooler, pulled across the exchanger, and chilled down to 35 degrees cooler than the outside air. A 3-speed fan control delivers Icy Breeze's dry, cold air up to 25 miles per hour, just like a car AC. And a stay-put flex hose directs the breeze in any direction. Wherever you need it, Icy Breeze helps you beat the heat.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
And we are back on the Buckeye Bro Show. Travis, are you ready for Howell's Hot Takes?
Yes!
Here we go. Hit us with it.
Mike Tomlin won't be my coach in 2 years.
Why do you say that?
Because fuck that guy.
Is he gonna?
Because fuck.
Is he gonna retire?
No. Well, maybe.
He's not gonna. He's not gonna lose.
I know he's not gonna. He's not gonna have a losing season again.
Ever.
But I gotta be honest. It pissed me off. Why? Why go away from Justin Fields? Now, I will say this. Russell Wilson did play good. I'm not going to take anything away from him on that. He played good. But I got to be honest. I didn't see anything different from what he did that when Justin Fields did.
The only thing that was different is you guys opened the playbook more.
You opened the playbook more, and the passing offense was a little better.
His touch passing is better.
Oh, yeah. His moonshot.
He has the ability to throw a ball that's a better 50-50 ball than what Justin Fields can throw.
Pickens had
Here's the problem. He's a 12-year vet. He should throw those balls.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has been in the league for what, 4 years?
Something like that, yeah.
And this is his first team that has actually had a pulse.
I will say Justin Fields, very classy as he always is. He said to the media, he's like, I haven't played well enough, and he takes accountability. So they got something to build off there with him.
If they don't sign him in the offseason, I will be thoroughly pissed.
Yeah, watch him go play.
Thoroughly
go
pissed.
play for the Browns.
Don't wish that on him.
I don't wish that on him at all.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
I'd rather him stay in Pittsburgh. He'll be better taken care of there for sure. But yeah. All right. So Nick Saban on Pat McAfee's show, they talked about the Ohio State-Oregon game, of course, and Nick Saban went on to say this. He said, they didn't affect the quarterback in any way against Oregon. They didn't ever get pressure. I mean, there was just 4 guys rush, which, that's kind of an antiquated way to play defense. And I'm not being critical of someone's philosophy at Ohio State, but there's so much 4-man rush simulated pressure, still able to play the coverages that you play, drop different people, rush somebody that isn't supposed to be dropping, drop somebody that's supposed to be rushing. And these things are ways to get pressure without giving up anything in coverage. And I think in this day and age of football, you've got to go down that road a little bit, or you're going to get behind the 8 ball. So, obviously, Nick Saban, the GOAT of college football, when he says something 9.999999999 times out of 10, he's probably right about it. And somebody in the Ohio State media actually finally had the balls to ask Ryan Day something that would maybe rub people the wrong way, and Ryan Day got asked about Nick Saban's comments, and Ryan Day didn't argue it. He kind of agreed with it. So that's kind of telling. By the way, the definition of antiquated is old-fashioned or outdated. So there you go. To use it in a sentence, this antiquated central heating system. That's what it says. That's what it says, Ryan. So there you go.
I'm glad you were ready. You knew that someone was going to ask you that.
Yeah, so thoughts. Is it antiquated, Travis?
I don't think it's antiquated. It's just not the right fit. Like you said, it's just for either, whether it's personnel, whether it's the style of play that you see in the Big Ten, or what you see against some of these bigger teams, it's just not the style that this team should probably be running. It's not the scheme. It just, something has to change with the way that this team plays. And it works for some teams and doesn't for others.
Sure.
I don't think there's very many styles of defense that are antiquated that are still being used today. There might be a couple, but I don't totally agree with that. I do think something needs to change, but I wouldn't say that it's antiquated the way that they play defense, because again, it works most of the time. It's just certain games and against certain matchups that it doesn't work.
Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I see the point, and to an extent, yes, because we see the same trend happen when you play an offense that can actually move the ball. Like Travis said, it works in some games. It works in games when the offense of the opposing team can't really move the ball that well. Like Iowa, it worked great against Marshall. We saw them, open up some cracks that the defense has, but they got it together and took control of that game. Western Michigan, you saw Akron, the same thing. It works until you play a big opponent that can actually take the top off of you, and that's really where we're getting burnt. There for a while it was the run game, but really run game was just against the team up north. But outside of that, the passing attack is just where we've been getting torched, and we have the players. I believe that the players are good, but yeah, the system isn't fitting whatever is going on here with these players, because it's just getting torched every time. And something's got to change. Something has to change, whether that is Jim Knowles, Larry Johnson, or both.
I think it's antiquated to a point, but I also do agree that I just feel like being solely in this 4-2-5 defense isn't good for what the personnel we have and what we're trying to do. There is a way to have a base 3-4 or 4-3 defense and run 4-2-5 concepts out of it. Don't know why we're not doing that. That would make a lot more sense to me, especially since we get killed over the middle a lot when we do get passed on.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's like if we had that extra linebacker, we could have Sonny, Cody, and maybe Arvell Reese or CJ Hicks, and we don't need all these DBs all the time. It didn't seem to work against. We didn't give Denzel Burke enough help against Oregon. So what's the point in having 5 DBs on the field if we're not going to give somebody help that needs help clearly? So I do agree with Saban to a degree. I think he's a defensive guy. He sees the defensive issues. I'm sure if he came in right now as an analyst for us, he'd fix it in a heartbeat. He would know how. But I just think at this point it's more about Jim Knowles just finally having the wake up call that he needs, and maybe it happened in this meeting with Ryan Day and Larry Johnson and him. I don't know. We'll find out for sure.
Jim Knowles just needs to figure out what he truly wants to do. He's just either middle ground. You'd think by now he would have.
Yeah, and him
We
and
don't
Larry
have it.
really just need to get on the same page. Like clearly, we've heard over and over again that they're not, and it shows in big games like this. Something's got to give, and or else some people are going to lose their jobs because it's just not getting done the way it needs to get done. So, it'll be interesting to see. All right, here's a video for the last topic. Here we go.
Nobody believed us, and then they tried to rob us with calls in this place, and these guys are so resilient. You know what I mean? We talked about intent. What was our intent when we walked on the field? Our intent was not to take pictures, not to do all the superstar stuff. Our intent, our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry. I'm not interested in all the bells and whistles. What I want is a team that fights their ass off, and they did tonight.
So Kirby Smart, once again after a win, we saw what he said after they won the Natty the last time. He goes, "Oh, everybody thought we were gonna go like 6-6, and nobody believed in us." Once again, he goes, "Nobody believed in us, and they were trying to make BS calls to take the game away from us and stuff like that." Boys, why does this man keep doing that? No, listen, I get a lot of people were picking Texas, okay? I understand that. But it's not like everybody's looking at your squad like they're not any good and not a national title contender. Like,
right.
You built this thing up to where it's at now. Even if you lost this game to Texas, you're probably still getting in the playoff at the end of the thing as a 2-loss team if you stay a 2-loss team. So, why, Ryan? Right? This madness has to stop, right?
Yeah, I mean, he creates the narratives in his head, I believe, because...
And clearly his players believe him.
And that's all that matters. If he can get his players to believe him and play out there like the whole world's against them when no one is, because everyone knows what he's built there in Georgia. It's a great program. It's a great football team. Like, people root against them just because they get tired of seeing them win at this point. But, I mean, everyone... Georgia. Like, the year he won the Natty, like you said, he really thought they were going to lose all those games. No one said that.
No one
People
said
were
that.
picking Georgia to win the Natty.
Not a damn one.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it's getting his team to believe, it's working, I guess.
Well, clearly, and this is something I totally forgot to bring up when we talked about Oregon. Clearly, Dan Lanning learned a lot from his mentor, Kirby Smart, because he ended up doing that whole 12 men on the field thing that exploited and took seconds away from us and got immediately fixed by the NCAA. So the NCAA can immediately fix a rule that quickly, so teams can't exploit it anymore. But then of course Ryan Day gets blamed for it, right? Oh, crying Ryan. So it just had to be us, right? But then they can't get investigations against teams to take under a year to do. I don't know. It is what it is. Travis.
Save that for the locker room, for God's sake. And like you guys said, just shut up. It's not true. And especially in this game, like saying all that stuff that he said, it's like, even you have got to look in the mirror and go, yeah, they didn't really try to screw you. They just tried to correct the stupid mistake that they made. Granted, it was stupid to do that. However, can we stop with the gaslighting? Like, we didn't just get lucky to get a really, really stupid PI call. Like, they're trying to rob us. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You didn't get robbed. Like Ryan said, and like you guys said, if it works for his team to pump them up, because clearly it did, to fire them up and pull out the rest of that game, but come on, dude. It's fine to use that in the locker room, but when you go out on a media, conference or whatever, or in an interview or whatever, and start spewing that stuff, you just look stupid. Because, again, like you guys said, nobody's saying that. Nobody said that. You didn't get screwed. No one's going to say you got screwed. They're all going to say that either Texas got screwed because the call was made what it was in the first place, or it was stupid for the refs to do what they did because they should have just called it the way that it should have gone in the first place. Not that you got screwed. Not that you they made a wrong call on you, you got lucky, and then you didn't because Texas threw a temper tantrum. You were up so much at halftime. What did you? Everyone doubted us. Bullshit.
Yeah, Kirby Smart could be a politician when
he really could. Oh God,
he really could. The gaslighting's there. He can make the media believe anything. Because when I heard him say that after, because I watched the game, of course. After I heard him say that, I'm just like, Kirby, shut the fuck up. Like, you were literally a preseason Natty favorite. Like, you lost one game to Alabama, which we're looking back now on, and we're like, how the hell did you lose that? It's like, how the hell were they ever up 28-0 on you? I don't know. But then, you win this game. Nobody's shocked that you won the game. I mean, it's not like, a lot of people pick Texas, but we're not shocked that you won this game. No. Your program is, now that Saban's gone, your program's the creme de la creme in the United States. Like, everybody's looking up at you guys now. You guys are the team that won 2 of the last 3 natties. Probably could have been 3 out of the last 3 if you had gotten in the playoff and, whatever, and a certain team didn't cheat. So, it is
also, maybe just don't lose to a Kalen DeBoer Alabama team.
Yeah.
There's a thought for you there, Kirby. Yeah, don't lose to Bama, who's actually starting to suck.
And guess what? Everyone was picking you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then what happened? You didn't. So what do you think? Why do you think they're saying that? It's because your team didn't get the job done.
It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Kirby Smart's going to keep doing this, though.
Oh, yeah, of course he is.
Gaslight me some more, I guess. I don't know. All right, rapid fire picks. Here we go. All right, boys. Obviously, we have 2 weeks worth of results here to go through. I will say that after the first week, I was a little worried for myself. Okay. But second week we made a bit of a comeback here. So here are the standings as is. I went 11-3 and 13-2 in the last couple weeks. I am now at 67-40. Travis went 11-3 and 10-5 in the last couple weeks and is now at 65-42. And Ryan still at the top, 13-1 a couple weeks ago. Had a really great week, but then
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, but followed it up with the 10-5 stinker. So the 2-week total goes to your boy with the least amount of losses by 1 there.
On my ESPN Pick'em app, I went 14-0 that week.
Dude, I had two games that last second field goals screwed up.
Yep, last week. Yep, the Packers and the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Yep, because that UFL kicker for the Lions kicked the game-winning field goal.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the success story of that entire league. He should be the poster boy, honestly, because that's the only reason why he's in the big leagues now, because of the UFL. But I will proudly wear the belt this time, whatever.
I took some chances this week to give you guys back in here. Make it good for TV.
Oh, I was just hoping I wasn't back in last place.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Whatever. Anyway, so now we are on to week 9 or 10 or something.
Week 9,
something like that.
8.
Oh,
is it 8?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You might be right. Okay. I once again, for the second time in a row, did not pick my picks before the show, so we will just be doing it all right here, right now. So tomorrow, Vikings at the Rams. I will start since I am wearing the belt this week. That should be the thing. I don't know why I haven't been doing that much. I'll start here. I'll take, obviously, the Vikings to rebound against the Rams. The Rams are kind of reeling right now. They might trade Cooper Kupp.
Please, to the Steelers, please.
Yeah, that sounds like it might be a destination. So we'll see if that happens. Mr. Napper.
I'm also taking the Vikings.
And Mr. Hill.
Vikings.
Straight down the line for your Buckeye Bros. The first one on Sunday, Jets at the Patriots, Mr. Hill.
Jets
over the Jets finally get a win. after all these losses, Mr. Napper.
Their last win was against us, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets. I wanted to pick his team so bad.
Jets over Patriots. Yeah, I think this is the game. You know, Aaron will look great again, and the media will stop saying that he looks like he's washed, and then of course he'll play against another team, and he definitely looks lost this year. I don't know if it's the Jets. I don't know if it's him. It's probably him.
Eat some more burgers on the sideline, Aaron.
He needs to do some more ayahuasca or something. Open his third eye, because it doesn't look like he's seeing the field real well these days. He might not throw to Garrett Wilson ever again after that game though against the Steelers. Both of
Very good trade for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, both of his picks came throwing to Wilson. So, which would be, you know, at that point, if he gets Garrett Wilson traded, I'll start to agree with everybody that Aaron Rodgers gets these people out of there, because Garrett Wilson's too good of a receiver to give up. Like get rid of Mike Williams. That makes more sense. Garrett Wilson, he's like, right.
We'll take him too.
Yeah, so Jets straight down the line for your Buckeye Bros. Packers at the Jaguars, Mr. Napper.
Packers.
Packers over the Jags, Mr. Hill.
Packers.
You already know what I'm going to pick. I'm not going to pick against my Packers against this sad Jags team. Packers, especially with Detroit looming afterwards, we need these wins. So Packers over the Jags for me, and you two as well. Falcons at the Bucks. This is kind of an interesting one, especially now that the Bucks are like crippled at this point.
Injured all around.
That literally, I heard Mike Evans today out for the year with the torn hamstring.
Is he out the rest of the year?
Torn hamstring out the rest of the year. I saw. I don't know if that was real or not, but I'm gonna guess it is. And then of course Godwin gets hurt with like 40 seconds left and breaks his entire ankle or whatever it was. So
out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, pretty bad all around. Mr. Hill.
You would make me go first on the toughest one. I'm gonna roll with Tampa. I think they're at home. They'll find a way to get it done somehow.
Bucks over Falcons for Ryan. Mr. Napper.
Falcons.
Falcons over the Bucks. I'm gonna take the Falcons too. They just seem like a team that's kind of like, they'll look great one week, they'll look crappy the next. And just because the Bucks losing all that they did this last game, I just don't know if they're going to be able to formulate enough offense there. So I'll take the Falcons in a close one there. I don't know if I even have to ask about this next one, but I will anyway. Ravens at the Browns. Travis.
Ravens.
Mr. Hill.
Ravens.
Yeah, it's Ravens straight down for your Buckeye Bros. I'm not feeling that dangerous and risky. It's just really bad in Cleveland right now. Even with Jameis Winston starting, maybe the Browns offense comes to life a little. Chubb's back. I don't know. But
Cleveland hasn't been feeling dangerous for a couple of years.
Nope.
Yeah, I highly doubt. Titans at the Lions, probably another unanimous one. I will take the Lions, of course. Mr. Napper.
Yep.
Mr. Hill.
Lions.
Yep. The Titans are crap, and the trade rumors are D-Hop to the Chiefs.
Yep.
And that's like almost a done deal. So, yay, the Chiefs get another great weapon. Big shocker.
Picked him up in all the fantasy leagues that he was available in today.
Yep. Big shocker.
Me too.
Colts at the Texans, Mr. Napper.
Texans.
Texans over the Colts for Mr. Napper. I, too, will take the Texans. If you would have told me that the Packers were going to hold C.J. Stroud to under 100 yards passing, I would have told you to bet your entire mortgage on it, and I would bet everything I own on it, too, and I would have nothing anymore. Mr. Hill.
I have the Texans.
Texans over the Colts for Mr. Hill. Straight down for your Buckeye Bros. Eagles at the Bengals, Mr. Napper.
I'm going to take the Bengals on that one.
Bengals over the Eagles. You think they're going to ride that hot streak that they got going on right now?
Maybe.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, this one's tough.
It is tough. All of a sudden it is.
I'm going to take the
Bengals over the Eagles. just to be different, then I'll take the Eagles. I think the Eagles can win that game. They haven't been obviously playing too bad, so Saquon Barkley gets going, you never know what'll happen. So I'll take the Eagles there. Cards over or at the Dolphins. I'll take. Does Tua come back this week?
Yeah.
Yes.
And see, the Cards are another one of those teams that it's just
I know
1 week, and they just like again, Marv was wide open on a play, and Kyler just doesn't look his way like ever. He's killing Marv's chance to be offensive rookie of the year. He's killing.
He's not going to be
in cold blood. Yeah, at this point. So Kyler Murray is killing that dream. I'll take the Dolphins. I'll probably regret that, but I'll take the Dolphins. Mr. Napper.
I'll take the Dolphins too.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah, it just depends on what two shows up. Pray to God he doesn't get his head slammed again. Good Lord. Bills at the Seahawks. This is a toughie. Mr. Hill. Bills over the Seahawks for Mr. Hill. Mr. Napper.
Bills.
Bills over the Seahawks for Mr. Napper. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Seattle is tough. I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one. I'll believe in them at home. Saints at the below average Chargers. When you're coached by Jim Harbaugh and you can't cheat, you're pretty average. So, Mr. Hill.
I will take the Chargers.
Chargers over the Saints, Mr. Napper.
I will too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I probably will as well. Just because, the Saints started out looking great, and now they lost their one wide receiver. Olave's been out. Spencer Rattler's your starting quarterback. Not a lot there to have confidence in. Bears at the Commanders. Remind you, without Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Just pointing that out there, just to be fair, Mr. Napper.
Which is why I'm taking the Bears.
Bears over the Commanders for Mr. Napper. Mr. Hill.
Yeah, I got the Bears too because of that.
Bears over Commanders. Who is their quarterback? Have they said?
Marcus Mariota.
I'll take the Commanders. I think he's good enough to win that game at home. I think just outside of that, just because they have what's his name as their OC?
The guy from Kansas City.
Was he at Kansas City?
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury?
No, Bieniemy.
Oh yeah, Bieniemy
I got it
is.
wrong.
I was gonna say Bieniemy's not there anymore, isn't he?
No, he's not there no more.
Where'd he end up? I thought he was still there.
Yeah, no, Cliff Kingsbury. No,
I
think
yeah.
their offense is just a lot better because Cliff Kingsbury's there. So I think Marcus Mariota can run that offense pretty well. I'll take the Commanders over the Bears. Chiefs at the Raiders. I probably shouldn't even ask, Mr. Napper.
Which one?
Chiefs at the Raiders.
Chiefs. Sorry, I was looking up something.
No, you're fine, Mr. Hill.
Chiefs.
Yep.
Chiefs.
And of course, Chiefs for me.
Oh, he's in college. Okay.
I'm sure that they will. They'll probably look bad, but they'll still win because the call will go their way, and Patrick Mahomes will truck a defensive player into the ground with his dad bod or whatever. Panthers at the Broncos. Mr. Hill.
Bryce Young's back. He's the starter.
He is.
But I'm taking the Broncos.
Broncos over the Panthers. Mr. Napper.
I'm going to take the Panthers.
Oh, he's rolling the dice on the Panthers. Maybe a coming out game for Bryce Young finally. Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos. The Panthers are just an absolute abomination. Broncos have a great defense, so taking them. Cowboys at the 49ers. What would be like a great game usually, but the 49ers are kind of stinky. I will take it's at 49ers, but they have so many injuries. I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I'm probably going to regret that. I just have a sneaking suspicion, Mr. Napper.
Which game? Sorry.
Cowboys 49ers.
I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, too many injuries for the Niners. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Cowboys over 49ers. Straight down the line for your Buckeye Bros. And the Monday Nighter, Steel City hosting the Giants, Mr. Napper.
I don't even care who my quarterback is for this game. Steelers.
Steelers over Giants, Mr. Hill.
I'm just more upset with the NFL scheduling that we have to see back-to-back primetime games for the Steelers.
Yeah, that's something, right?
Technically back to back.
Yeah.
So I should pick the Giants because now the Steelers are going to lose because you picked
Now the Steelers are going to lose.
I'm picking the Steelers. There's no way they're losing the Giants.
How many times have we ever lost in primetime? It doesn't happen.
Did you know that Danny Dimes...
When you play Patriots with Tom Brady.
Danny Dimes, it's been like 650 games since he's thrown a touchdown pass at home at MetLife Stadium.
That's great.
That is great. Now, granted, he was out like all last year and like a part of the year before, but just the fact that it's been like he's played some games there already this season and has not thrown a touchdown pass in MetLife, that's wild. But obviously, this is on the road in Pittsburgh, so I'm sure he'll throw like 2 or 3 at this point, right? So we'll see. That is rapid fire picks for your Buckeye Bros. We will see if maybe I can finally retake the lead, or maybe Ryan will grow his lead, or maybe Travis will come out of nowhere with his Panthers pick and get back tied up with all of us. Because that one week was pretty great when it was all tied up and stuff. Jason Williams, a known bet welcher in the Wolverine scape. I had to like hunt him down for months to give me money because he wanted to refuse to pay his bet on the Ohio State Asian game like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. He says Suckeyes have turned into the Cowboys. Well, what has the Wolverines turned into? Makes you think.
The Browns.
And right on cue, Wolverine whiffs. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
All right, I got some good ones here. So this is okay. The first two are before and after. Okay, notice the timestamp here, February 20th, from the Blue by 90 Twitter page. It says Michigan has lost its head coach and half its coaching staff, as well as 18 starters to the draft, which is going to make it even that much better when we reload and win the Big Ten for a 4th year in a row. The meltdown from our rival fans is going to hit like crack. Flash forward to October 19th, 2024. This is the worst I've seen Michigan football in a long, long time. Life comes at you fast.
I'll say this is like the Rich Rod era, maybe worse.
And those are the tweets that I bring up when fans are like, well, what'd you expect? We lost all. Yeah, but you were still guaranteeing 4 straight over us and Big Ten titles preseason because you thought, oh, well, their defense will still be elite. And the offense, yeah, they'll take a step back, but they'll still be good enough. Really? A lot of 10-2 predictions or better for Wolverine fans. Now all of a sudden, you might not make a bowl game. Ouch. So if we turn into the Cowboys, who still make the playoffs, by the way, and win their division sometimes, the Wolverines have turned into the Carolina Panthers. Ouch. That sucks. Ooh. And then this one. I thought this one was pretty funny. Sherrod Moore's going on a blocking spree, guys, and Daily_MSU points it out and says the amount of people Sherrod Moore has blocked is concerning. Shouldn't he be more worried about coaching his team? He's even blocking Wolverine fans. So who is now the softest coach in America?
Sherrod Moore.
I think it's Sherrod Moore. I think he thought he was born on third base, and now he doesn't even know how to run the bases. I think he just walked to third base, didn't even know how to pick up a bat, and now he just doesn't know where to go from here. I think that's where we're at. So a little bit of is there a joke? Jason Williams, how are you gonna feel when Sparty beats beat you this weekend?
That's a good question.
Little brother's going to come back and get the job done.
Oh, they're going to take.
Yeah.
What if they take Paul Bunyan back to East Lansing?
Ooh.
Then you're really screwed because the only winnable game on your schedule at that point is Northwestern. Good luck. Good luck with that. All right, we're gonna go. And good, I got this done before 10. I wasn't certain at one point if we were, but we made it happen. Okay, so we are on the College Football Dogs Media Network. We have a lot of great shows on here, like the Golden Boot Podcast, which is on every Monday every Monday and Friday at 8:30. We have the Big Ten Backers on every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. and Thursday, of course, at 9:30 p.m. And Sunbelt Syndicates, if you're a big Sunbelt fan, they are on Wednesdays at 8:30. And a lot of other great shows like the Villains Podcast at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. But you come here for the Buckeye Bro Show, which is Wednesdays, 7:30 to whenever we see fit to end, whenever I stop talking, whatever you want to put it, which is at 9:54 tonight. So, please follow the College Football Dogs social media platforms and, of course, the Buckeye Bro Show social media platforms. And you can follow us at our socials listed below. Next week, we'll talk about the Nebraska game, and then we will preview who is after the Penn State. And we'll talk about that one. I think we'll have Kyle Golick on the show. Maybe Logan Morris if I'm feeling like having 5 people on here at once. Probably not. But we'll see. I want to get new Penn State blood in here sometimes. Not that I don't love our dude Logan, but I'm sure he'll be chiming in at some point. So
he will.
Yeah, we'll see what's what. Maybe we can have him come on after we beat him this time, and just rub salt in the wound a little bit. You know, I think Ryan and Travis would enjoy that very thoroughly.
I love it.
So
I love it.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have Kyle Golick on for the pregame, and then Logan on for the postgame. Yeah, so we'll talk about those. We'll talk about what we learned in college football this week and other news that I'm sure will pop up. Hopefully, we'll talk about a 4-4 team up north team at that point. So, I've been Key Buckeye Alex Browning with Hot Wheels Travis Napper and Ride the Sports Guy Ryan Hill. We'll see you guys next week. Go Bucks, beat the Cornhuskers, and go Sparty on the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.
This is the Buckeye Bro Show on the College Football Dogs Media Network.